Alright guys, how's it going today? So, it, it is, I don't know, it's mostly sunny out. There's a few clouds floating around, but the snow has really melted. It's not going to show up, I don't think. Yeah, that little blue flag right there, that's going to have to come out here once the snow melts, but that thing was almost under just about a week ago, from all the snow all this winter. So it was only about that much of it still sticking up. So snow is obviously melted. Roads are getting sloppy at the farm and whatever the hell else. But yeah, wherever I've snow blowed, pretty much it's all melted away. So, and it's mostly just been in this like the upper 30s, well, lower 30s to low 40s is kind of where we've been at. But they are saying that I thought it was today, but I think they changed it. But there are actually some 50s coming, Fahrenheit. You got some of that coming this way. Who knows exactly? They change it every day. I guess it'll be a good thing for sure, but I'm not going to sit here and say that spring's coming early, because it never comes early. It's melting early. But I think what's going to happen is that we're going to lose a lot of this snow, and then we're going to get one or two more big dumpings of snow, and then that'll probably be the end of it. So, but it is what it is. It's warm enough that you don't have to worry about freezing. I mean, I don't have my gloves on while they're in the blazer for one thing, but I don't need them right now. So, but yeah, the blazer's sitting outside right now. My uncle's gonna get rid of one cow, a heifer. I think he was gonna do it last year, but I don't think she was quite big enough to be shipped off. And I think he's shipping her off because I don't think he really wants too many more cattle. I think he's probably kind of hit his limit, but he wants to get rid of one just to kind of help with the hay supply a little bit. And I think the market's still good, so I guess he kind of wants to, jump on it and try to get another, couple grand, I guess, or something, because they're going for a lot of money. So I don't have nothing to sell, We're not going to have any calves this year for 2025 because the breeding bull has not been here yet. He's not going to be coming here until probably, I'm guessing, sometime after the snow melts off and the pastures start to green up. So probably another month, maybe, or two. I don't know. We don't want him here yet anyway, because he'll eat way too much hay, and we're not low on hay, but we're getting down there. We're down to the last little pile of hay that we have. I think that will get us through. What is this now? March, I guess. I don't even know what month it is, but yeah, so it should get us through, I think, the rest of March. But if we'll have to buy anything for April, maybe. I mean, we'll have to buy a couple of bales regardless, because we're going to need them. Well, no, technically, I guess we don't, because we won't be calving this year. So that won't be too big of a problem there, I think. So I guess kind of whatever. Hey, if we do have any bales left over, we can save them for next year. We'll just push them into a corner or something for now, but we'll worry about that when that time comes. So, but he called my uncle this morning and said, hey, do you want to get rid of that other cow? I guess he's got a load that he wants to take as well, and I guess, the markets are obviously still good, so my uncle said, yeah, and then he said, well, I'll call you back when I'm ready, and then you guys can put her in the barn, lock her up, make sure she can't go anywhere. So that's going to be interesting to try to do. It's not going to be too bad because obviously it's nice out, it's warm, but I don't know how much of the snow has actually melted out in the pastures. I know out in the hayfields, that's starting to get kind of bare now. Out in the hayfield, I mean, it's getting. You're seeing more of the ground now. So, I think in probably another week, I'll be able to go up the ramp on top of the dike because I haven't been snow blowing that. So, I think within probably another week, it should be opened enough that maybe I could at least walk it. I probably could walk it now if I really wanted to, but you might as well just, let it melt a little bit more. The only reason I want to go out there is just to check that sign, which that's no big deal, but all the other ones that are along the highway or the bridge, I can check those from the bridge. All you gotta do is just pull way over to the side there, and you'll see most of them. So those are good. I know because they're still there, but I imagine my name and stuff is rubbed off, which that'll probably be the first thing I do when I can get down there comfortably. So put my name and stuff back on it. But other than that, yeah. So, but we're just gonna kind of wait for him to call. I was going to go over there anyway to the farm today because I wanted to look at the 1586 again. Because I did see a picture online. A guy had a 1586 and he had to do the same thing that I'm doing. Pull the torsion tube out and put new seals on it or new O-rings on it. And but he was able to remove it without actually having to take the axle housings off. He even was able to leave. I don't know what that part is called. I never looked it up in the book, but I know that your drawbar slides through. It's right underneath the PTO. It's what holds the drawbar on that end. He was able to leave his on, but for me, I had to take mine off because I couldn't get to the bolts that were locking the 3-point arm doohickeys that are attached to the torsion tube. So you got one big massive bolt that goes through on each side. That's what just kind of locks everything together. I couldn't get to those bolts, so maybe it would have been a different story if the 3-point was up all the way, so whereas me, it was down all the way because my 3-point bleeds off after a little bit. Which I don't know. It doesn't leak it on the ground, so I don't really care. And I don't, once you fire the tractor back up, the 3-point will go back up anyway, or to wherever you set it, and it'll stay there for the remaining time that you're running it. But once you shut it off, it'll slowly start to drop back down, which doesn't bother me. I mean, for one, obviously I don't have nothing hooked to it, and even if I did, I'm going to lower it to the ground anyway, because I don't like leaving stuff up under tension and weight for even just for a few hours. I don't like doing it. So, because it wears everything out. Even on the John Deere, when I have the snowblower on, if I'm going to go in for 20 minutes to warm up, I'll drop the snowblower back down on the ground to get the weight off the tractor. So, because I don't want I don't want it to hold all that weight for the whole time that I'm, you know, in the house warming up. There's no sense to that. So that's what I do. And I'd be doing the same thing on the 15 too if I had a... Well, I do that if I have the bale carrier on. I'll lower it down to the ground and I'm done. So it doesn't bleed that fast, but I mean, you could leave it up, I think, for a few hours and it'd be fine, but it might bleed off a little bit, but it does eventually bleed off, but I don't care about it. So it's not something that I think I really want to fix because it doesn't bother me, you know. So, but yeah, he was able to remove all his stuff. Of course, he had to remove the PTO, and which that alone is going to be an interesting thing because you got to make sure you don't remove the wrong bolts, because apparently the short bolts, because we got long ones and short ones, the short ones are for the PTO. So I think that's what sandwiches that's what holds, I guess, your clutch packs and everything together and your springs. It keeps all that under tension. So if you were to take those bolts out, well, then everything would just explode because it's under tension. So if you remove those bolts, you're going to have... I think you can do it while it's sitting in the tractor. But if you have it sitting on your bench or something and you take those bolts out, well, then it's going to come shooting apart. So you got to know what bolts are what, and I don't really know too much. I guess you could just take one out at a time, and if it's a long one, leave it out. If it's a short one, put it back in, I guess. But got a couple of deer walking around. They were in my yard about 30 minutes ago. A couple of them. I think that's probably the same too. So, but yeah, I don't know. So I guess we'll just have to kind of wait and see what I want to do there, but I went to go look at it again, because obviously if you don't look at something for a few months, you kind of forget what things look like. So I went back over there today, and I don't think it really matters what side the torsion tube will come out. It'll come out either side. But I think if it comes out on, if there's not enough clearance on one side or the other, well, it'd be, I guess, on the driver's side, let's say, where I have that dual on. Well, I could actually take the inner tire off, because, it's blowing out for one thing anyway. So, why even have it on, I don't know. But there's no sense of taking it off, and I don't have a tire to put on it anyway. But I could unbolt it and just kind of slide it over till it hits the dual, and then just leave it. But that would give me probably another foot, maybe-ish, kind of-ish. It'd probably be more than enough for the torsion tube to slide out, I think. So, and if you really had to, you could probably roll the tire a certain way or whatever to give you more or whatever. There's things that we could do. It's going to be a pain in the ass, but it's not going to be this month that I ordered the tractor parts, because I have to get I want to get a couple things for the chainsaw, for the Farm Boss. I got to get another gallon jug of bar and chain oil. I'm completely out of that. I have winter grade oil, but that's for the winter time. Bought that many years ago. I don't know why, I guess because I don't use my saw in the winter time, but it's there for in case you have to. And then I'm completely out of fuel. So I have to get more of that. And that's all steel stuff, because there is he sells steel products as well now. So that's where I'm going to, thank God too, because we don't have no steel dealers around here. The nearest one would be up in the cities, and I'm not going in an hour and a half for that shit. So thank God that he did originally sell Echo, the electric brand of shit. It was it's all this electric crap. But the owner of that store was telling Ace, was like, well, hey, we're not even selling any of this crap because nobody around here wants electric garbage. It's not reliable enough for here. And we do so much ground, you know, that gas is just the way to go. So then they decided to team up with Steel, I guess, and yeah. And ever since Steel, you know, they signed up with Steel there, they can't keep anything on the shelves because everybody runs Steel pretty much. You know, chainsaws, trimmers, you name it, leaf blowers, whatever. You know, it's all gas and steel products. So, but yeah, so, which is going to be a huge favor for me because then I can get the proper stuff for my saw that I've always wanted. I didn't really want that. The True Fuel that I was running, you know, for the fuel, that's good stuff. I mean, my saw never complained about it. I know Vice Grip Garage on YouTube, he uses that exact same stuff when he's firing up a old engine for the first time. He'll just run some of that through the carburetor. Just, I suppose, to kind of prime it and get it ready to go. But cars run on that too, I guess. I didn't know that, but they do. So, but yeah, I guess you could always just keep a gallon of True Fuel in the back of your car, and if you run out of gas, just throw that in. That'll get you a mile, I guess, or so closer to home. So, but I'll probably get you more than that. I don't know, but it is what it is, I guess. So, yeah. But that's good news. I was happy to hear that because I like Steel, and that's the only and I want to buy their products just for my saw, you know, because I feel like I'm buying the very best for my saw, and that's what I want to do. It's the same way with Big Red. I always bought Polaris oil and oil filters. None of this is aftermarket stuff. The John Deere's, even this cart, all that's John Deere parts. The John Deere oil in the John Deere, you know, that's John Deere oil and filters. The 1586, that's different because it's a leaking, you know, tractor. Everything leaks on it, so there's no sense in running the good stuff through it. I have Fleet Guard filters on that, but that's because I like Fleet Guard. I like their filters, even though they're aftermarket, but I still like them. I think they're probably like the second best out of like Case IH, but I don't know. Couldn't get the proper Case IH filters. I got one that's not meant for my tractor, and then I have one I think that is, which I kept it just as like an emergency spare, so I could throw it back on there if I had to. But no, I like to run the Fleet Guard filters only because on that tractor there's so much red, you know. And if you run the white filters, because Fleet Guard is white, kind of breaks it up a little bit. And if you run black, well, the black filters, they just kind of blend in too. So I like the white filters. It goes good with the, you know, since I have the white panels on mine, kind of ties it all together. So, but since that tractor is, you know, leaking like a sieve, well, I'm not going to go crazy on it. So, but yeah, I don't know. So, but yeah, when it comes time, if we get the torsion tube rebuilt, then I got to get the 3-point rebuilt, which I could probably just take them to the young guy's farm, heat those pins up to 5 million degrees, and then try to pry them out. Probably just end up putting new pins in it anyway. Because you need a big torch to heat those freaking pins up. I can't heat them up with my little torch. And they're not budging anyway. Plus they're kind of damaged. So just replace it all with new stuff, and then shouldn't have to worry about it for, I guess, for the remaining time that I own this tractor. So, but yeah. So But when it comes to the hydraulic oil, now there is a guy here that does sell it, and I have some right here. This is empty now, but that's what he sells. You know, and I'm sure it's good stuff. My uncle buys it all the time, but that's just because that's what they have. But $86 for a 5-gallon pail. The young guy says if you go, I don't know if it's the town that I'd been to when Mother had her eye surgery or not. It was either that town or another town closer to that. But there's another store there. Again, I can't remember what it was, but the young guy says there you can buy a 5-gallon pail from them for like $30. It's much cheaper hydraulic oil. Now, how good it would actually be, you know, I guess, I don't know. But considering that my tractor has a lot of leaks, there's really no sense of buying, you know, because if you do the math, $86 for one pail, and then the tractor holds like 25 gallons, that's a lot of money. So even if we were able to fix it, I still don't think the 15.6 would be ready to go before moving round bales again with it, because you have to, because I'm not going to be able to buy all that hydraulic oil at one time, even for $30, like, you know, a pail. It's still just, I could probably get maybe 2 or 3, but that's not really going to be enough. It'll be a start, but it's not going to be enough. But at least you could throw it in and test the torsion tube to see if it's going to leak or not. But those parts for the torsion tube are just ridiculously too expensive. The O-rings are not too bad, but the other part, I don't know what it is, if it's some kind of a bushing or what. But they're like $160 for just one, and you need at least 2. Because if you're going to go into it, you might as well just replace everything, you know, for that part, and then you don't have to. You should be good then for another, I don't know, 10,000 hours, I guess. So, but I don't know. So it's just going to be too expensive to do it all at once. And then after that, then I got to save up money all over again to buy a tire. So, but yeah, and I got my little GMRS radio with me because I don't have a home phone here in the shop. My uncle has some home phones, I guess, that are wireless, and they actually can reach out quite a ways. I don't think mine can do that. So, and texting me is kind of slow. So, told her that if my uncle calls, just to hop on the radio and let me know, but I don't know when he'll call. But if he'll even call today, I don't know, but he should. But we got to use the radios to stay in contact with each other. So, but yeah, like I said, I want to do the chainsaw. That's going to pretty much take care of this month, if I can even get everything in one go. I don't know. I only need 1 gallon of fuel and then 1 gallon of bar and chain oil, and I would be good for a little while. But then I kind of thought about it too. It's like, well, if I can't do the 1586, then I kind of want to get on Big Red. I want to at least get the ball joints done on this, because that's not going to be too bad to do by myself. The 1586, that's a totally different animal, because there's a lot of parts there to remove to even just to fix one part. And I'm not too familiar with that. Of course, I'm not no more familiar with this than I am that, but this is just easier because I've seen videos on how it's done already. There's no videos on YouTube that shows how to remove a torsion tube on a 1586 without having to remove the axle housings. So there's just no videos out there because I've tried looking. Something to kind of point me in the right direction, or at least give me some pointers or something. I don't know, but I wasn't finding a goddamn thing. So, but I mean, there was one video out there that guy had to remove his torsion tube, but his was a 1486. So that doesn't count because the 1486s are the same as a 1086 and a 986. They all have the smaller rear end in them. The 1586s don't. They have the bigger rear end in them, but that's because they have the planetary gears. Whereas the 1486s and under have a totally different gearing setup. So, but I don't know. So I don't know what to do there. So, and then I can get jack stands that would support the weight of that tractor. I think you would need at least 20 tons. That's a 20-ton jack or jack stand. Okay, those are like $250 freaking dollars. And then I don't think the ground would support it because the grounds would be too soft. So he would have to I was thinking maybe ordering some sheet metal, well, not sheet metal, but plates of steel, maybe ½ inch to 1 inch thick, maybe like 3 by 3, maybe ordering 2 of those, and then you could use that as like a base for your jack stand, so at least it wouldn't just collapse. It would probably be harder to sink it into the ground because you've got a 3 foot by 3 foot area compared to just 3 tiny little feet that are probably only like 1 inch in diameter, and they just collapse right into the ground. So you'd have to put, plates of steel or something under it, unless you were able to move it to the driveway where it's gravel. That would probably support it pretty good. It wouldn't collapse. And if it did, it wouldn't collapse much. So, but I don't know. So, I don't know what to do there. So, but that's the way it's going to be, I guess, for now. So, but yeah, got to definitely get some projects going. So, and unfortunately, the chainsaw is kind of one of them. I got to get that done. Don't know how much I'll get done on payday, but if I can get one of each, I'd be pretty much good to go then for at least, half the summer. And then, I don't know, I'm not going to be happy about it, but I don't think I'll be able to spray, for dandelions this year just because I don't have enough chemical and I didn't order any. Ace can get it, so I can have it shipped up to my store here for free and just go pick it up whenever, but I still have to pay for it. But to have it shipped to my house, then it costs a little bit more, but I just haven't gotten around to it because you can get a 2.5 gallon jug too for I think like $60. So, and I only got probably about ½ a gallon left in my other jug, and that's not going to be enough to spray my yard. It takes damn near all that to spray my yard. So, but what do you do, So, probably won't be any spraying going on this year, which sucks. So hopefully I did damage the dandelions good enough this year that, maybe I can just kind of not spray, but nothing to do about it. So, but other things that are more priority, I guess, than that. So, but got to get something done. It's got to be a year that we got to get something done instead of just kind of dicking off. I mean, there are some other things I would like to buy as well, but those are just kind of tinker toys, and I don't really need them right now anyway. And like I said, wouldn't mind learning how to rope. That's not mandatory right now. That's just going to be more or less on a day that I'm bored because I've done everything else. And I talked about getting a couple more GMRS handheld radios. That's not priority because obviously I have 2 now, and then we got CB radios. So, but it just kind of is what it is, I guess. But I don't know. That's all just tinker toys. But for right now, I gotta try to get the machines back up and running. And even if I did the ball joints on Big Red, it's not going to be enough because I gotta still figure out the exhaust system, which I might just replace all that and be done with it. And then the charging system, well, that's going to have to be up to a mechanic to do that. And I have a guy that can do it. So, and then that valve cover gasket, yeah, I probably could do it. I don't know how easy it is to get to that, but I could have them do it too, since they would already be there. So, but after that, then Big Red would be back up and fully functional, and he'd be a rocking machine again. And I'll just have to order another battery like that. I wouldn't mind ordering another 6-volt battery, but a much smaller one. For the Farm LA, so I don't have to use that big bastard anymore. So, because that thing's just too damn big and bulky to move around. But I don't know. We'll just see, I guess. But I don't know. We'll just see what happens. But hopefully we can get something done, even if it's just. I don't know. I gotta get the PTO, I guess, out of the 1586, and that'll tell you what to do from there. But I would hate to take all this shit apart and then I can't fix it, you know. So I really gotta study that 3-point again, though. Like, I did look at it, but I was kind of bullshitting with my uncle too, so kind of got a little bit distracted by that. But if there's enough clearance there, I think that I can, do what I have to do. I really don't see why I couldn't do it. Because the only reason why the torsion tube's not sliding out is because there's that damn bar inside of it, and that's locking all that together. And that stops the torsion tube from, sliding. That's all that does. It just stops it from sliding. So, you take that bastard off, then the whole thing should just come right apart. But, I don't know. I'm still not going to be able to... Well, even if I did slide the torsion tube in, I would not be able to slide it in all the way because I'd have to put those brackets back on for the 3-point, and I want to redo that. I want to get all new pins and clean it up really good, and then put that all back on. So, and the pins, I have no clue what the pins cost, but I think I can get them new from Case IH, but I guess I probably could try to get some used ones from a salvage yard. So, because those usually don't take much of a beating unless, you got an idiot like me that doesn't know what the fuck I'm doing. So, then they'll get destroyed, but they got to get heated up and so you can get them out. It's the only way they're coming out. But I can take that to the young guy's farm there, and I'm sure he'd let me borrow his gigantic torch for a couple of hours or whatever, and just heat the living shit out of them and pry them out, or at least get them to turn. If you can get them to turn, then they'll come out. But you just got to get them to fucking turn first. So, and then I'm going to take them apart every year and soak them up and clean them real good, because that's what that one guy had to do. I think it was on his 1086 though, but it's still the same damn thing. It doesn't matter what tractor you have. You got to take the 3-point completely apart at least once a year. Take everything apart, clean it up really nice, and there you go. But the only thing I'd have to do is just take the pin out, that the arm sits in. Take it out, clean it, put some anti-seize on it or whatever, just to stop it from seizing or getting rusty as hard. I mean, you probably could just throw some grease on it and it'd be just as good, but I want long-lasting results. So do that, put it all back together, torque it all to spec, and carry on with your year, and then do it again next year. So, but yeah, lots of things to do and just not enough time. But like I said, even if we did get the torsion tube rebuilt this year, we're not going to be done. It's not going to be running. Because I still have to rebuild the 3-point. Who knows how long that'll take to get done. Put it all back together. And then I have to go somewhere, buy what I can for hydraulic oil for each month. It probably would only take me 2 months. You know, if you can get 3 pails a month, that should be more than enough, but I don't know. And then, well, then you'd be back up and running again. But then you're still running that fucking dual, and that dual isn't going to last forever either, right? So then you got to save up, try to get a new tire. I know, like I said online, you can get that BKT or whatever for like $1,700. Young guy thinks he could probably get it for a couple $100 less. So I might, when I have $1,700 saved up, I'll call him and see if he can talk to his tire guy and see if they can get that tire in. And if they get it for like $1,500, well, that's good. But then there's going to probably be at least another $500 to $600 to have my local shop here put that tire on. You know, I mean, I could probably, I don't know, I mean, maybe the tire guy would do it too, but I'm not going that far because that's way too far. So if I got a guy here that can do it, I'll have him do it. It'll cost me an arm and a leg, but it's close to home, and he can have it done in probably an hour, and whatever else. I don't know if he would have to come to the farm or not. Maybe. Because it's going to have to get taken off the tractor anyway. And then after that, then we're going to slide that bitch out one notch. So it should be a little bit further away from the cab. So when you do get the bounce in the tires, then you're not rubbing it against the freaking cab and scraping the shit out of the damn tire. So, and then after that, then she should be fully functional. Of course, it should get an oil change. It's going to need to get one now after sitting this long and not running. It definitely will deserve an oil change, but I got to get filters, and engine oil won't be too much of a problem. But oil filters, yeah, I got to order them online because I don't think anybody around here sells that. So probably could get, I don't know, maybe Case IH would have them. I don't know, but they really usually only want you to buy their filters, not an aftermarket. So, but I did that once already, and somebody fucked up and they gave me the wrong filter. But it might have been on my end too. Maybe I had the wrong part number, but I did the best that I could, and I thought it was right. So I don't know. So, but what do you do? So, but yeah. So I'm just hoping we'll get somewhere this year, because it'll probably be just me doing it myself. I might get a little help from my uncle, but I would much prefer to have the young guy help me with this, because I know he's been through this before. Of course, it's on his 1086, so it's a little bit of a different setup, but it's still pretty much similar. You just don't have those big axle housings in the way, but I guess I'd still just feel more comfortable with him being around, but he's so busy that you can't. So, I mean, it is what it is. It's like I said, I just feel more comfortable with him around. Because he knows these tractors like the back of his hand. Now, he's never worked on a 1586, but he's pretty damn close. So I would still feel comfortable with him being around. Because if he sees me doing something wrong, well, then he can yell at me and say, "Hey, stop, you're fucking it up." Whereas if it's me and my uncle, well, he ain't going to know any more than me. So, we could be doing something seriously wrong, and then we could be permanently damaging it. So that's why I always felt more comfortable with him being around, but it's hard to get him around, you know, when he's got his own farm and stuff to run. So, but it is what it is. I ain't gonna cry about it. We'll just take it one day at a time. Hopefully we can get her done. So, but yeah, definitely gotta start getting some stuff done. So get the chainsaw done, and then maybe, would it be April? I think it's April. I don't know, but then I should be able to order the parts for whatever, either the 1586 or Big Red, whatever I decide to do. I won't be able to do both, but if I can do one or the other, it's a start, I guess. So start picking away at stuff, I guess. But it's got to get nicer than this. That they are talking a few days of 50s, but it's not going to be enough. So probably won't really be fixing stuff until probably May, maybe even the end of May, because we've had snow even in May. That it doesn't stay, but it snowed. Didn't stay. It melted right away, but it was still snowing. So I don't know if I'll be making much repairs in May, but you know, I don't know. Every year is different. You don't know, so. But I guess, guys, I'm going to take off. I got a couple things I want to do and whatever else. So, yeah. But anyways, guys, I guess I'm going to take off. So I guess have a good day and stuff. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, guys. Take her easy.